We are often at the mercy of Mother Nature and can seldom do anything except hunker down and weather the storm. In the last couple of centuries, that has slowly started to change. Thanks to giant leaps in the scientific community, human beings are able to control certain aspects of the weather and even geology. It is difficult to say the least, but when proper scientific and engineering laws are applied, some truly incredible things can happen. Here are 5 ways that human beings have been able to control Mother Nature. Take a minute to imagine what it would be like to be able to control certain aspects of the weather, specifically precipitation. If you could make it rain or snow, there would be some major implications. Believe it or not, scientists in various places on Earth are already able to do something like that through a process called cloud seeding. Although the process hasn't been applied on a very large scale, test areas have shown great promise. We use the word promise because nowadays, cloud seeding is used to increase precipitation, mostly on high mountain tops. This is done by aircraft depositing a compound called silver iodide into the atmosphere. It is naturally occurring in nature and has no harmful effects on either humans or wildlife. These compounds aid in the formation of ice crystals at high altitudes. So, when storm systems move through the area, it is much more likely that snow and ice will form and fall. It has been employed to enhance winter snowfall and increase snowpacks on mountains. This supplements natural water supplies in surrounding areas. However, this process has actually been employed much earlier than this, but as a tool of war. During the Vietnam War, the United States Air Force conducted a top-secret cloud seeding project known as Operation Popeye. Its intended application was to extend the monsoon season over certain areas of the country with the goal of disrupting North Vietnamese military supplies. It was thought that the cloud seeding operation would not only extend the monsoon season by a few weeks, the amount of rain would be much greater than normal, hopefully leading to bridges being washed away, landslides, and muddier roads. Very little is actually known about the program, but it has been confirmed to have happened with various executions of this project being done over Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. However, no one actually knows how successful Operation Popeye and the cloud seeding actually was. It was officially halted in 1972 after 5 years. There have been no examples of cloud seeding being used for purposes of war since that time. Many of us love a good thunderstorm with the sounds of the wind and the rain. It's even pretty cool to see a few streaks of lightning off in the distance. But everyone's tone changes quickly when that lightning strikes closer to you than you were expecting. It can not only do tons of damage to a person should it strike, it does a lot of damage to structures and electronic equipment as well. That's why many places, and even houses, come equipped with a lightning rod. Scientifically speaking, lightning is only looking for one thing: the easiest path into the ground. But it's also looking for the closest thing to strike, which is generally anything tall. In order to protect buildings from lightning damage, large metal rods are attached to the roofs, and these rods have a wire that leads back down into the ground. Should lightning ever strike these rods, the electricity would follow the wire into the ground, thereby diverting it away from the actual structure. Everything from skyscrapers to church steeples usually come with some type of lightning rod. While beautiful to watch and somewhat easy to protect against, lightning has always proven incredibly difficult to study. It makes sense, considering a flash of lightning only lasts as long as a blink of an eye. So, scientists at the University of Florida have developed a method for triggering lightning in a controlled environment. Using a 6-foot-tall hobby rocket, a copper wire is attached to the end. After being launched into the storm, it attracts the lightning, leading it back down to the ground where it can be studied. Various discoveries have been made about lightning, from its speed and strength to its temperature. These discoveries will lead to some huge scientific advancements in the future. For the longest time, we would simply drill down into underground reservoirs to extract the oil and natural gas. But in recent years, a new technique has been used to get the oil and gas out of the ground. It's called fracking. Here's the difference between the two methods. With drilling, we tap into the large underground reservoirs that are full of oil and gas. But once they're depleted, that's it. Fracking was developed to get even more of the gas and oil out of the ground. It's a process where liquid is injected at incredibly high pressures into subterranean rocks, boreholes, and wells to force open existing fissures in order to extract the natural gas. It has become an incredibly popular method of extraction, not only because crews are able to get so much more of the resources out of the ground, but it has proven to be a cost-effective process. While many people have spoken up advocating for this new, cheaper way of retrieving fossil fuels, it has also come with its fair share of controversies. While proponents of fracking argue that it is a much cheaper alternative to drilling that provides tens of thousands of jobs, opponents argue that the method pollutes groundwater, could cause tremors, and distracts energy companies and governments from investing in renewable energy. We're not here to take sides, but what do you think? Let us know in the comments. One thing that makes the United States unique is that its geographic location means that there are a variety of climates, from the deserts in New Mexico and Arizona to the frigid shores of the Great Lakes in New York. Nearly every state is different in some way, shape, or form. When it comes to the western states, like California, Oregon, and even some areas in Wyoming, one danger they face is wildfires. How come these areas are in greater danger of wildfires than most other places? Let's take California, for example. This state, like many of the other western states, gets most of its moisture and precipitation in the fall and winter, meaning that during the spring and especially during the summer, the vegetation dries out, acting as kindling for a fire. It is also during the summer months where there are a lot of thunderstorms. So, when lightning strikes, the plants and trees are easily ignited. Also, the storms and temperatures work together to create fierce winds that only act to fuel the intensity of the fires as well as cause them to spread at incredible rates. Most of these fires occur in rural areas where threats to human life and property are minimal. But there have been more and more instances where the fires have been encroaching on neighborhoods, burning hundreds of homes in the process. One way humans have been able to control this is through controlled burns. Controlled burns are used as a way to burn up all of a wildfire's fuel or potential fuel. It's a great way to lessen the risk of a real wildfire starting, assuming you can keep it under control. Controlled burns can also be used to stop a forest fire. You just need to set a blaze in front of the fire's movement, and that way, when it gets there, the fuel is all gone. One of our greatest engineering achievements as humans has been to harness the energy of water by constructing large dams. The primary reasons we create them is for purposes of hydroelectricity and water storage. This in itself is an incredible feat. But take a few seconds to think about the various other things that come as a result of a dam being built. The power of enormous rivers are controlled, and sometimes they're even diverted. Millions upon millions of gallons are held back. Entire ecosystems are even affected. Let's take Africa's Lake Kariba as an example. This massive lake covers an area of over 5,000 square kilometers and is completely man-made. It was created when the Kariba Dam was completed in 1959. Fed by the mighty Zambezi River, it took over 5 years to fill to capacity. Today, it is flanked on all sides by pristine nature reserves and is home to thousands of species of animals. But this just shows how powerful the dam is and the massive impact it has had on the area, from containing the power of a huge river to creating a new home for the local wildlife. While not directly controlling the weather, humans have been able to control the flows of billions of gallons of water all over the world. Mother Nature is definitely a force to be reckoned with. But humans are smart and have learned how to harness its power, control it for study, and even manipulate it as a way to save lives. It seems that in these cases, humans win the day. To see more videos like this, click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.